All right, we've got a couple of great guests on the show today. We have a documentary that we're going to talk about. No, stay awake. Documentaries can be incredible, like this one. It's called Smash Forward, and Melissa Dex Guzman.
Melissa.
Oh, Melissa, sorry. I've got all the names happening right here. And Kial Natale.
That's right.
Yes. Worked on this documentary together, and I watched it today, and we're going to put the link for you to be able to watch it at home right now because it's on YouTube. But it was done in partnership with TELUS, and kudos to TELUS for getting behind this. Melissa, why don't you tell us what this movie is all about?
So Smash Forward is an exploration of the grassroots community here in Vancouver.
Yep.
Particularly with the FGC, so the fighting game community. So games like Tekken, Street Fighter, and in this doc we kind of covered Smash Bros. Just because Ultimate was just on the cusp of its release.
Yep.
So we wanted to see how much of a game changer that would really be for the community.
When did you guys decide that this was, because you could have gone, you approached TELUS with an idea to make a doc. You could have gone with any kind of concept, but when did you decide that it was going to be about eSports in Vancouver and the local sort of fighting game scene like that?
Well, we pivoted.
Oh, yeah?
The pitch was actually just going to be about Brendan, who's in the audience right now.
Hello, Brendan.
Yeah, and we wanted to sort of explore how he uses the FGC as as sort of a support network for his bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
But as we navigated more, we got deeper and deeper and deeper, and we were working with TELUS Story Hive, and our mentors were like, wait, we don't know what's going on. Can we step back a bit? And that's when we realized, like, hey, even though we think esports is huge,
Yes.
It hasn't completely taken off yet, and like for the mainstream, I suppose.
Well, I mean, that's been my career in a nutshell, right? I mean, we've been talking about video games for 25 years, but we sometimes speed so quickly because we know so much about it and we love it. But yeah, there is an element of kind of slowing down and bringing people in. And that's also what we see when we watch the doc as well. The industry, like the local community, is trying to get more people engaged as well. Did you find that, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. As you were mentioning earlier, video games are somewhat obtuse, or they can be.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have something that parents can understand for some
Yeah.
reason.
Do you think that Smash, because of its accessible characters and its kind of cutesy sheen, it can be incredibly vicious as well, but do you think that is one of these kind of crossover type of entertainments out there that can bring a lot of people just to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even when we were meeting with these Smash players, they were saying that was the first thing. Smash is usually seen as a party game. Nintendo is usually the gateway to video games, so it really does have that big reach, not that the other titles don't have.
That's awesome. Were you both big followers of the esports scene in Vancouver, or was this kind of new territory for you?
Totally new for me.
Yeah?
But you want to speak to your experiences?
Well, for me, I've been involved with esports since 2011, and possibly before. Like, I've been watching Brood Wars since the early 2000s.
Right on.
And I probably only started getting involved in 2011, photographed the first WCS at BlizzCon, started following LCS, and then I just watched it get bigger and bigger. It's exponentially year by year.
Is it entertainment for you, or is it a potential career for you? I mean, how do you see esports for you personally?
I mean, I'm actually like a photojournalist, so I wanted it to be my career, but there's so many, after talking with Sean of Volcanic, like there's so many careers relating to games, relating to esports. Like I'm working for Truly Social Games right now, making competitive games. So I mean, that's
there's a lot of ways in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and that's very explicit and very clear in the doc. One of the things that you punch up in the doc is the International came to Vancouver, and there were thousands of Dota fans out there, and you've got great footage of all of that. Was that kind of an anchor point for you guys? Was that something that kind of drove the point home really clearly as you were putting this project together?
Well, it's kind of crazy because when we did the pitch, that was about last May or June.
Yeah.
And none of these huge things happened yet. So that, the Aquilinis hadn't had their Overwatch team.
Right.
Yeah,
because Vancouver's got an Overwatch team. That's
yeah,
right. The
it's
international.
new.
I'm right.
And then, yeah, exactly. The international hadn't happened yet.
Yep.
And then the other one was the gaming stadium hadn't even announced.
Right.
So even just from over the course of 1 year, things have changed so quickly.
And we even shot that scene before we knew we won. So we knew it was important to cover.
That's incredible. The gaming stadium also, you guys got to premiere the movie there on Monday. How did it go over?
It was absolutely electric. I mean, everyone's so enthusiastic about games, and seeing themselves and their heroes on screen, it was just really euphoric.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about the doc is the intimacy that you achieve. I loved getting to know your father a little bit, Brendan. That was really rad. But you got to know the people, and I guess that must have been something you hoped for, and were able to achieve as you sort of infiltrated this community a little bit, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I totally came in as an outsider,
Yeah.
and I'm actually quite shy, so I was really surprised and very happy when they actually welcomed in like family. They actually want us to stay, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, people seemed very open in the doc. It's not a super long documentary either. It's just the right amount of time, I find. But we do get a nice moment with all of the competitors that you're following, and we see them in ups and we see them in downs. But they feel like they really wanted to share with you. Did you feel like mission accomplished as you were putting the edits together? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone is so forthcoming and wanting to share the community. And one of the more interesting things I've seen from the outreach is that people want to go to their community, support their locals after seeing our documentary.
And that's really why I wanted to put this on the show, because it is very Vancouver focused. You do a smart detour to Seattle, though, to kind of show the differences in the communities, but also how we're all linked and we're all the same. And every city is trying to kind of get their eSports scene off the ground and get more people to participate. And I'm sure the events are getting larger and larger. But you gave us a sense of that, and I feel like anybody that watches it should feel a couple of things. I think one of them is be inspired to be, if you've ever dreamt of being a filmmaker, do it, right? And if you want to participate in a local esports thing, get out there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone involved, the gaming stadium, Vancouver Street Battle, they're so welcoming.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we came in as outsiders and they were just like, yeah, come hang out, just see what this is all about, because that's all they kind of want.
That's awesome. Now, Kyle, you have production background.
That's right.
Kyle actually did the graphics for our Film Fury intro, so
Yeah.
thank you for that.
That was so much fun.
That is super rad, and we get lots of comments on those visuals, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
But you also you're an editor, and you've done a lot of visual effects and stuff like that before.
Yeah, I worked for Burdell on a few DreamWorks shows. Right now I'm actually at Clay Entertainment working on some cool game trailers.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you did the post-production, and you also shot some of this, or quite a bit of the
Yes,
doc?
yeah. I was the cinematographer and as editor and visual effects artist.
I love the look of it. You guys have the camera in motion for big chunks of the whole documentary, and there's lots of almost kind of fisheye viewpoints, but then you get up close and personal. You've lit it really well. What did you use in terms of equipment?
2 DSLRs. We have a GH5 and a A7 III, Sony A7 III with
Incredible.
gimbals. Yeah.
The very, very cinematic. Did you shoot everything in 4K?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
And which was a nightmare, actually.
Yeah. You need
Well,
some storage.
Yeah, there's not only storage, but just getting kind of like the data throughput into your computer for editing it.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yes. And cut on Final Cut Pro or
Premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish Final Cut Pro, but
Yeah.
those days are gone.
That's super cool. Now, you're a photographer by trade.
Yeah.
Had you ever directed any project, any filmed project like this before?
I've done mostly like sizzle reels and music videos. So Kyle and I also worked on Steampunk Digital Sizzle Reel. We did SIGGRAPH Business Symposium.
Okay, cool.
And with Adrian, us three are.
Adrian Talens is in the audience, who did the music, which is also terrific
It's
in this.
amazing.
And
It's amazing.
Adrian, actually, you were the one that
Yeah.
told me that this was coming when you were on the show a little while ago. Yeah, you're a man of you wear many hats, not just the cool hat you got on today.
He owns at least a few.
Yeah, so all three of us actually co-founded the Vancouver VR community together.
Yep.
And the music video for that was just something we wanted to do as a 1-year anniversary project. We hadn't done something fun, and I was like, you know what, I haven't directed anything since I was in high school, on mini DV or whatever it
Yeah.
was, so let's see if it's
Yeah.
changed. And It has.
Well, you guys, you come off all super pro in this project,
you.
and what's the response been like from, outside of the community, from TELUS and from other people that have watched this and seen into this, community for the first time?
Our mentors said this is a world we know nothing about, and it's fascinating. And I think Brendan Pride's dad sums it up in the end of the documentary. This is incredible. I had no idea it was like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you see yourselves maybe revisiting this area or creating a larger documentary or doing some traveling around to other cities? Is there you want to continue pursuing this as a story subject?
I probably will, just because I've been like I said, I've been involved in it for over 10 years.
Yeah.
We'll see if Kyle wants to. It's a pretty. I had no idea documentaries were so hard to make.
Yeah.
They're so stressful.
What's the most difficult thing? What's the most challenging thing? Just especially it was mostly the two of you doing all this stuff together, right? Mm-hmm. So is it lugging all the gear and setting it up and balancing for lights and yeah?
It's a mix of all of that. Like, we shot for 44 days.
Yeah.
And then we had a 20-minute time limit. There's a lot of math that can be done there.
Yeah.
So lots of fine-tuning.
So you could have done a season of this
we actually could
show,
have.
pretty much, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you should see our bins all like with markers of like who said what at what second. It's insane.
Yeah. So was this something? This is fascinating, the way that you have to kind of strike this out. Was this something that you kind of pre-scripted once you did a log of what everybody said, and then you kind of sort of did a paper edit, and then you went in, or how did you work that?
Yeah, we went in with an idea, had to throw that completely out because
Right.
obviously you get what you get.
Right.
And so we would log the footage and we'd end up with these timelines, maybe an hour-long timeline per interview sometimes.
Right.
With markers annotating what said when.
Yeah.
Exported that to like a spreadsheet and then try the paper edit from that. So quite a process.
Wild. How many different revisions did you have?
Oh, God.
Actually, not that many. Well, I mean, it was iterative, but I feel like we did nail the story pretty early on. We did have to cut out a whole section in the beginning, though.
Yeah.
We did have a what is Super Smash Brothers, but we wanted to go broader. What is eSports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is eSports? What is it, man? Why should people care that don't care?
You're gonna quote
I
Martin?
just wanted to quote Martin.
Quote Martin.
I can just hear it. You quote him.
No, you
No, you.
wanted to. Okay, yeah. Esports is competitive gaming for prizes and for glory.
For prizes and for glory. That's the T-shirt.
I
Right there.
get the cadence right. He says it in a very nice way.
I know. Can't do it the way he does.
So where can people watch this? We're going to put it into the description, but go ahead and tell people what they should be looking
Yeah,
for.
so as of July 15th, it's available now on TELUS Optic Video on Demand and the Story Hive YouTube channel.
The Story Hive YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What's the title of the doc that everybody should be looking for?
Smash Forward.
Smash Forward.
It should be Smash Forward growing the Vancouver esports scene, but
Yeah.
TELUS, if you're watching, we got to do that.
Are you? Do you want to do more docs? Do you want to go off and do more docs, or do you want to take a break from that?
I'll probably take a break, but I think if I were to do a doc, it'd probably just be more capsule, just kind of the stuff I was doing before, but with more narrative behind it, because it was all sizzle reels, music videos, stuff that looks pretty, but it would be nice to work on my narrative a little bit.
Well, I mean, the 20 minutes of the documentary flies by quickly, and it looks like one long music video. And I don't mean to disparage the storytelling, because it's really, really tight storytelling with great subject matter. I was very impressed.
Thanks.
Thank you
Let's
so
give
much.
it up for Kyle and Melissa and Smash Forward.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys all watch that.
And Adrian and Brendan.
And Adrian and Brendan, who takes us into his life, which is fantastic.